pitches, he's kind of like the guy like the Brewers do with Ashby, or right now what they're doing with Peralta, where he's only going to go 4, maybe 5 innings. If you get 5 innings out of
Basically
the guy
going to go for
tomorrow,
the lineup twice.
yeah, then it's left to the bullpen. So I'm thinking if the Brewers can get to the starter tonight, get to him early, get to the bullpen, maybe that might give him an advantage tomorrow. I'm just trying to think outside the box about a team that is struggling to score runs right now and playing against a really, really, really formidable opponent.
So basically tonight, probably on brand with how they have been the whole season. Look at the Brewers trying to get into a lot of deep counts, I would think. Pretty much been their operating procedure. But we are back on another Wednesday, so we're getting really, really close to having shows twice a week, every single week. Basically, only have one Friday off until Packer season starts.
I know.
And
December 1st, right?
So yeah, we basically have it'll be the second. Yeah, so we basically have one Friday off until like January. So basically, September 2nd is going to be the only day there's not a Friday night show. And from now until the Packers season is over, we're going to have Wisco Fanatics twice a week coming on. So it's going to be a lot going on. This Friday, we are doing a bonus episode. Jake and I will be our last bonus episode before Packers season starts. We're going to be talking about some basics of basketball and football. So if there's any basics, terms, phrases that you hear while you're watching sports and have a question on, let us know. We can we'll research them and we'll talk about them. But that being said, we're going to start. Go ahead.
We have a lot on schedule for that. Me and Tyler brainstormed a lot of good ideas, I think. So we kept it mainly football and basketball because baseball is pretty. Baseball, you understand, it's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. It feels like.
And baseball, the thing is too, like it's gone so analytical. Like we discussed, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago about some of the new age statistics. So we've kind of touched on that a little bit already, but let us know if there's other things you want us to discuss. We're gonna start with Brewers and Cardinals, and let's start with game 1 and Brewers and Cardinals.
Game 1. Not a lot to cover in this game. This game was pretty clean. Two very, very evenly matched teams. I'm going to say that before we cover
every time we play them.
Yeah, the series is just neck and neck. Literally, we have 4 more games against them. It's been very fun. High stress games. That's all I'm going to say.
Quality games too, honestly.
Yeah, good baseball. This one was 3-1. The Cardinals won. Eric Lauer was pretty good in this game, and he starts tonight. So we still, I feel confident when Lauer is the starter that the Brewers have a very, very good chance to win the game. No matter who the opponent is, Dodgers, Cardinals, doesn't matter. Lauer, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and the 5 Ks against a very good Cardinals lineup. Now, I know when you look at the stats, the Cardinals haven't produced like they probably should, but I'll tell you this, they definitely have one of the better lineups, especially in our division. Probably the best lineup in our division. In that game, Suter pitched inning and a third, nothing across the board, no walks, 1 K, but no hits, no earned runs. So he was very, very good again. Brett Suter's been, I would call him money over the last couple outings, I would say. And then Jason Alexander, who I thought has been pretty good this week. He pitched 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk. So, I mean, he was good. Carantini got the solo RBI, not a solo shot, the solo RBI. Brewers, again, left 8 on base, which kind of hurt. But, they're competing with very good teams right now. So, I don't feel bad about this loss because I know what happened the next day.
Yeah, that's good too. I agree with you on Lauer. I have it written in my notes that Lauer looked better than his final line and getting the loss. Which brings me to a point that I want to make, and I'm going to continue making, and it's going to carry into football season, is to stop using wins and losses to gauge a pitcher's talent. And I'm going to say it in football season, stop using wins and losses to determine if a quarterback is good when there are 22 starters on the field. There's so many things outside of those players' control that happen during games that should not count against them or for them, for that matter. I'm not only saying this to to try to mitigate losses, but like it shouldn't always count for a guy to get a win, when he holds a team to 5 runs, but his team scores 10. Yeah. So it works both ways, but there's other ways to determine pitchers' talent than just simply looking at wins and losses. So I wanted to throw this out there just because he had a pretty rough week and a half-ish or so. But Christian Yelich made some really good contact in this game, especially to the opposite field, just right into gloves. It happened at least twice in this game. You brought up Suter and Alexander. The Brewers, this game, they did strike out 11 times. So coming out of the break, I talked about ways the Brewers could strike out less, whether it be swinging at the first pitch more, looking to use the opposite field, which I do think they've done a lot since the break. I think they've done really well of using the opposite field. Colton Wong, Christian Yelich, Willie Adames on his home run that he hit yesterday. So I do think that is improving, but the Brewers still need to strike out less.
Yep, I agree.
That's pretty much all I had for game one. That game, it felt like it went really fast.
Yeah, it was a clean game, man. That's why I said there's not really much to report here. It was just the Cardinals scored a couple more runs. Really it.
Yeah. So speaking of fast games, I mean, this game 2 of this series was a pitcher's duel if there ever was one. What are you looking at from game 2?
Corbin Burnes was Corbin Burnes, and obviously he gives us the best chance to win when he's on the mound. I mean, there's no secret. He's a Cy Young Award winner. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks, 0 walks. The whole pitching staff had 0 walks for the entire game. So that's exactly
good.
How you
that's
get it
very
done.
Good. Yeah.
11 Ks, 0 walks for the pitching staff for the Brewers. So that is a great, I kind of use the K to walk ratio. I look at that like touchdown to interception ratio, which, by the way, listen up on Friday. I'm going to have a 6 stat about that. But here we are. We're talking Brewers here. Williams, that guy's just phenomenal. And Bush was really, really good in this game. That Urias touched all 4 bases, Renfroe RBI, Wong an RBI, only left 3 on base. So they got this win in 10 innings, but it was an earned win, but it was a good win. And the Brewers have been playing a lot of extra inning games lately.
I think they have the most in baseball, if I'm not mistaken. But James, you watching this from Sonic would be relevant if you want to ask the manager if they want to sponsor the show. Like, that'd be cool with us.
Yeah. Give them a shout out.
Yeah, this one you pretty much touched on everything too. I mean, this was definitely a pitcher battle. Like, Adam Wainwright's been in the league a long time, so like he's got stuff. He's been successful for a long time, and Brewers fans know all about Adam Wainwright.
I mean,
what was Urias'
old?
Yeah, so is Yadier Molina. And Albert Pujols for that matter. But Luis Urias hit his first home run since July, so that's good to see. I want to highlight Hunter Renfroe taking that extra base in, that was the bottom of the 10th or 10th inning? Yeah, 10th inning. Hunter Renfroe taking an extra base, that proved to be part of a winning play by Colton Wong, then being able to get the sac fly to get him in. Matt Bush did give up a sacrifice fly, and then he got Tommy Edman to strike out to end the game. So Tommy Edman is actually a very, very good player. His name kind of slides under the radar when you're looking at Pujols and Arenado and Goldschmidt and Molina. But Tommy Edman is a freaking stud. That dude is an offensive and defensive stud. So Matt Bush getting him to strike out to end the game is a big deal.
He's very good on defense, and he's a very good contact hitter. So here the Cardinals go again. They got their next budding young star, and it's super annoying, but whatever.
Yeah, and at least they traded Harrison Bader. Like, they still have Tyler O'Neill, who's kind of a Brewers killer, but they got rid of Harrison Bader, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, I was happy. Since I touched on everything, I want you to start the next game, so I don't take.
All right, so go to game 3. Hunter Renfroe opened up the scoring in the second. Hit his 20th home run. Dylan Carlson almost caught that one and brought it back. Ashby did a really nice job after giving up the home run to Pujols. He got 2 strikeouts. Colton Wong playing very good defense. That's been something that was kind of a storyline in the first half of the season, was Colton Wong defense being not what we're used to. And now the second half of the season, that's really, really picked up for Colton Wong.
Yep.
And then this basically turned into another pitcher's duel after that. Ashby pitched very, very, very well. 6 innings, only 2 earned runs, only 3 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts, only 79 pitches.
I'll take that every day of the week.
That is very, very good stuff from Aaron Ashby. Did you see? So Goldschmidt hit that ground ball to Luis Urias. That kind of took a weird hop on him. Did you see how fast his glove level changed?
No, I didn't see
like,
that.
He was like, woof, and it was in his glove, and it was like, damn! Like the glove speed on Luis Urias was like, it was kind of freaky.
Brewers got screwed by a hot corner. Really good defense play by Turner. Was that last night or was that the night before?
I'm not sure. It happened to Tyrone Taylor in Pittsburgh too.
Yep. Yeah, it was actually Tyrone Taylor that was hitting. He hit one down the third base line, and it was a nice play. Whatever. I don't want to give credit to the Dodgers because screw them.
So we get into Matt Bush. Pujols is now 1 for 8 career batting against Matt Bush. Matt Bush threw just an absolutely nasty curveball to strike him out. Pujols swung and missed. And it probably would have been a strike anyways. He caught like the bottom of the zone. It was such a good curveball by Matt Bush. Pujols did get to Rogers. Carlson hit a solo shot and a reach on error. But this was it's kind of frustrating. So like I get that we've been dealing with frustrating situations because the Brewers have lost a bunch of games lately. But it sucks when there's a lack of consistency. So, and I'm not just talking about the Brewers, but I'm also talking about the Cardinals and the umpiring and the strike zone of this series. Like, it felt like it was a squiggly line, and the Brewers were trying to watch a lot of close pitches during a series with a really wobbly strike zone. So that's one of those things where I talked about swinging and swinging to protect with 2 pitches. Not trying to take close pitches, trying to draw walks, but just trying to fight pitches off and waiting for the mistake. So there's a little bit of a different philosophy there. But in a series with weird strike zones, I think you got to kind of turn that up a little bit more and be looking to protect even more. So,
yeah.
All right. What did you see in Game 3?
Like you said about Renfroe, the guy just continues to just yak home runs. Tellez also hit a home run. So that guy has definitely paid out his due from that trade. I'll say that. Fuck the Yankees. And only 2 left on base. So, again, this was another pitcher's duel. Not as well-known pitchers. I mean, Milwaukee from the Cardinals is pretty good. I believe he's their ace.
He's probably known more for his mustache. But
yeah, which is not fair to him because he's actually very, very good. I believe he's very good. And Ashby is up and coming. I believe that he's going to start making him a name for himself in the next couple of years. My job is done here.
Chelsea, we can delete comments, right?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
You spelled Yankees with too many E's, by the way. Like a dolphin must have typed that.
Now that I got good audio, that's not good to do that. Actually, it might have been worse than my shitty audio.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, this was just, like I said before, I'm going to get redundant here. It was just another good game. I came down to one guy getting a hit, and that's who won the game. That's what these games come down to, is one guy making one play, either for the Brewers or for the Cardinals. And, like I said earlier, we have 4 games against them. We have a much easier schedule, as Tyler mapped out for everybody last week after this Cubs-Dodgers. She said Sonic is always good. Jesus Christ. Stay on topic. We're talking about the Brewers.
I know. It's going to make me hungry while I'm doing this show, and I got to wait till we're done.
Yeah, and I didn't even talk about what we're having for dinner. So that's not fair. But so I got to figure that out after this. But anyways, it's going to be close games. So we are not out of it.
That's the Brewers' identity too, is to play close games. That's their identity.
Yeah, it's very stressful, and I hate it. I hate everything about it. Like, why can they not just win a game 10-1? Just one time, just 10-1.
It could be like the Yankees and win every game either 10-0 or lose 10-0. But like, sure, it's fun when you win, but like when you lose, like you're turning games off after like the 4th inning, and like,
it's
a little bit of drama is good for you,
100%. 162 drama? I don't know about that.
I don't know about 162.
Yeah,
I
know. We
got to
killed the Pirates and stuff like that.
let me pull it up. Let me pull it up because I just saw this.
Oh God, now we're ready.
This is a stat. If Christopher was watching, he'd be excited.
Taylor likes the stats too.
So there are 4 teams this season to have at least 10 games with 0 runs and at least 10 games with 10-plus runs. So the list is the Yankees, the Brewers, the Phillies, and the Cardinals. So at least 10 games shutout and at least 10 games with 10-plus.
What the fuck?
Some weird lack of consistency there.
Yeah, I don't like any of that. Don't like any of that.
Yeah,
if the Yankees didn't have Aaron Judge, they would probably suck. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's one of those situations where, like I've been saying actually for the last couple of weeks, that like the ability is there and the opportunity is there. It's just going to come down to the execution and now, like I'm saying, the consistency. So those things just need to kind of balance out. So let's go to, we'll start with Monday's Dodger game. Let's start with game 1.
I'm going to reply to that comment real quick. Then please stop being a Packers fan because I am so sick of your curse hanging over my life.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah. This was the first game between the Brewers and Dodgers this season, if nobody was aware, which is absolutely crazy to me.
That is kind of weird. Like, we talked about this with Interleague. Like, there's 162 games. Like, why is this schedule not more balanced?
Seriously, like, and why do we have our series back to back against them? You know what I mean? Like, that's just it's like they're like, oh crap, the Dodgers going to play the Brewers. Slap it right next to each other.
Yeah, we'll throw the Cubs in the middle.
Yeah,
just to make them have to travel.
Yeah, whatever. I lost this game 4-0. I watched the first 5 innings of this game, and the annoying thing to me was that the Brewers, I believe they had 3 or 4 hits, and Jesus Christ, Brewers had 3 or 4 hits, 0 runs. Obviously, we scored 0 runs the entire game. They have 4 hits.
Yep, 4 hits.
And the Dodgers had 1 hit, but it was a solo shot, and I was like, this is not fair. Baseball is not fair. But, I felt like Peralta is building. He's building himself back up. I'm not upset with him. I think he had a really good game. I mean, the 1 earned run that he had, obviously, he had a pretty good outing. He only had 4 innings pitched, 4 walks, which I could do without, and the 3 Ks. Yeah. So once he gets the walks down and he can start, pitching 6 innings like we're used to with Freddie fastball, right. I think the Brewers are going to be good to go. The Brewers just couldn't get a damn run across. And that first inning still haunting me with 2 on, no out, and they couldn't get a run across. It was like I already felt like at that point, and that's the mindset we're trying to get away from. But It was like we're at home. We're playing the Dodgers. We just lost 2 games with the Cardinals, and we had 2 on, no out, and we don't score. And I'm just like, why do you do this to me? But I mean, the rest of the game was okay. Sucks that Milner gave up that home run. That was just a good piece of hitting. I won't lie. I don't want to give credit to the Dodgers players, but they have good players, obviously, and that was just a A+ piece of hitting in my opinion.
I find it easier to give credit to the players than the franchise itself.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to point out Jason Alexander was absolutely phenomenal in this game. Gave 3 innings, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 2 Ks. So I wanted to give a shout out to our boy, the show Wisco Fanatics boy, Jason Alexander. He was awesome.
Yeah, I put in Alexander in here too. Giving a big boost for the bullpen and knowing what we know about Tuesday's game, it's a huge deal actually. That even in a loss, that Jason Alexander was able to pitch 3 innings scoreless because the Brewers used 7 pitchers last night. So Jason Alexander being able to give the Brewers those 3 innings is actually a really big deal because it helped out the team on Tuesday, and it did actually end up helping win. So stuff like that, it kind of goes a little unnoticed, but being able to give those innings did actually help the Brewers win yesterday's game. So I liked what you said about Freddie. He did pitch well. His pitch count kind of got away from him a little bit. That's kind of what limited him to just those 4 innings. And those 4 walks are a big part of that. Those just extend innings and obviously make the game longer.
Yes.
You mentioned not a lot of hits. Dodgers had 6 hits and 4 walks. The Brewers had 4 hits and 2 walks, and both of those walks were Christian Yelich. But that's where we're at with the Brewers. Let's go to last night's game. This one was another one of those dramatic games and some more extra innings.
Yeah, you can start us off, man.
All right, so Woodruff looked really, really good, like he has since the All-Star break and since coming back from his injury.
Yep.
First inning, he threw 27 pitches. Second inning, 16. Third inning, only 9 pitches. He had 6 strikeouts through the first 3 innings, 8 through the first 4 innings. Bottom of the first inning, Christian Yelich draws a walk. Willie Adames hits a bomb to right center using that opposite field.
Oh, now he smoked that son.
Yeah, he did. Woodruff did give up a couple solo home runs, but he finished 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 earned runs, and the 8 strikeouts. I can still hear you. Oh, I was going to say, I can still hear you.
It's touch screen. I was trying to turn down the volume. My finger touched him.
Fat fingers. All right.
Yeah.
Christian Yelich hit his first home run since July 2nd, 112.4 miles an hour off the bat.
He got all that stuff.
That'll do. Oh, God, did he smoke that.
Yeah.
Brad Boxberger, his first outing since last Wednesday. They didn't really say why he wasn't available. I mean, maybe it was just maintenance because he had been pitching so much. He only needed 9 pitches, I think, to get a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Then Devin Williams, Hobie Milner, and Taylor Rogers all got scoreless innings. It's good to see Taylor Rogers get a good inning under his belt and get a scoreless appearance. If he can build some momentum, that would be huge. You got to give Chris Taylor a little bit of credit. He made a really good catch on the Andrew McCutchen hit.
I wrote that down.
You got to give credit to him.
That ball.
You got to give him credit. Like, he laid out when the game was on the line, put his body on the line. Like,
yeah,
you got to give him credit. I know it sucks that it happened against us, but you got to give him credit. It's good baseball.
The only reason I was going to give him credit, and I mean, other than it being a fantastic play, was because immediately after that, the top of the inning, they ended up taking the lead in the game. And I was like, yeah, that's – they have all these superstars, and then one of their non-superstars makes a play like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's no wonder their record is the way that it is. Everybody's making plays over there, But playing with superstars kind of eases you up a little bit, so you can play a little bit more freely.
Well, it takes some pressure off, and it increases opportunity for you, really. Because, I mean, obviously, when you're looking at a batting order, like, who would you rather face, like Chris Taylor or Freddie Freeman? Like, it's an easy answer. So,
yeah, it's pretty easy for me.
It's all about the way you look at it, And that's if I had $1 for every time we've talked about trying to look at things differently,
we'd be rich right now.
All right. So going into the bottom of the 11th, Craig Counsell actually said it was Hunter Renfroe's idea to lay down a bunt. I mean, it worked out. If it doesn't work out, who knows what ends up happening. But it did work out. Christian. Colton Wong worked a 7-pitch at bat. He did end up striking out. But then Luis Urias worked another 7-pitch at bat. He drew the walk. And then Victor Caratini hit his second walk-off of the season. This was the Brewers' 7th walk-off win in 2022.
And on top of Renfroe's bunt, I want to give credit to his base running on that play. Because if he didn't run those bases absolutely perfect like he did, we don't win that game in 11 innings. We just tie the game in 11 innings.
Yeah.
So I wrote that down too. I wanted to give credit to Renfroe for the bunt and the base running. I mean, that was awesome. Adames as well. Let's give a shout out to Adames because he is having a rough year batting average wise and all the slashes, but that power is still there. So that power threat is still there. So people are still pitching him, because they're still scared that he can just take one into the seats, touch all the bases.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Brewers scored 5 runs, left 10 on base. They were 2 for 8 runners in scoring position. So I mean,
the
approach
that's pretty on par with their batting average.
It is. So like the thing that I'm going to look at is they're getting opportunities. That's the mindset, the positive mindset I want to take is they're getting opportunities. So if they come through in those opportunities, this is a freaking scary ass team. But up to this point, they haven't come through in those opportunities. But in baseball, that's the best part that we talk about, right? You get 162 chances to take your opportunity. And Carantini's second walk-off this year, by the way, since you wanted to shout that out.
Yep.
It's been a better week, like you said before the show. It's been a better week than it was last week. So they're building. We're gonna get ready for the takeover, right? You gotta hit rock bottom.
We're getting ready for Craig Timber.
Get ready, baby. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, dude. Can't give up. Also, 15 strikeouts for this pitching staff yesterday.
That is good, especially against a team like the Dodgers.
That's big time stuff. Yeah, they have a lot of good batters. I mean, Freddie.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to point out.
Mookie Betts comes to mind. I mean, those are two of the best players in baseball overall.
Yep. They both have MVPs.
Yeah. So, and they're still both, relatively young. They'll be around for a little bit yet. I mean, Freddie Freeman's getting a little bit up there, but Mookie Betts is still pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was nice to see Yelly hit a homer, man. It was really nice to see Yelly hit a homer.
Yeah, it was. You sent it to me, but if you haven't seen it, look at Yelich's Twitter or Instagram. He puts up the picture. He puts up the video of him hitting his home run last night, and the announcer is saying, "It's been since," and it cuts away and it goes to the old lady saying, "It's been 84 years."
It literally felt like
Christian Yelich hit his last home run. It's only been about a month and a half, but Christian Yelich does still, despite being that broke like an 0 for 25, 26 streak that he had, he still has the highest on-base percentage on the team.
And he's still hitting the ball hard, like you pointed out before.
He is in the 85th percentile for average exit velocity and the 91st percentile in hard hit percentage.
So it's not like he's not seeing the damn ball. He's just hitting it hard right at people, and that's how it goes sometimes.
I'm gonna throw this out there because it's gonna come up in the offseason and it's gonna come up during next season. When they ban the shift, Christian Yelich will be one of the players that benefits the absolute most from that.
Just all those hits over second base. Jesus Christ.
Dude, if I had $1 for every time I saw somebody complain about Christian Yelich grounding out to the outfielder in short right field, it's like, that's why they do it. Because if you don't, that's a hit all day.
Dude, he's gonna go crazy. What up, Isaac? How we doing, buddy? Me and Isaac were dealing with people with the Favre and Rodgers debate again. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
The Favre and Rodgers thing, it reminds me a little bit of the Giannis and Kevin Garnett thing.
I agree to a point. I'm gonna let you take control of this. I want to see where your head's at. Why do you say that?
Because it's a situation where, because you say that one is better than the other, it doesn't mean you're knocking one down. By saying that Giannis or Aaron Rodgers are better than Kevin Garnett or Brett Favre, you're not automatically, by converse, saying that Brett Favre and Kevin Garnett suck.
Yeah.
People get that wrapped up so in their minds. Well, if you think this guy's better, you must think he sucks. It's like, no, they are right here and right here. But this one gets the edge for this reason, and this reason.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give a little tiny context on our conversation. Some guy said, I'm paraphrasing here, and I came in the middle of this conversation, so I didn't read all of it. But he said that Favre would be like Stafford is today. Now tell me, at any point in his career where Stafford was considered better than Rodgers, tell me. If you can name the year, I'll give you $1 million right now. And no, he was not better than him last year because his team won the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear that.
Dude, Stafford sucked in the Super Bowl. That's why, people are like, oh, rings, he's got the same number of rings as Rodgers now. He's better than Rodgers. No, he's not. How many All-Pros does he have? It's a really easy answer.
Yeah, how many MVPs? How many Super Bowl? Did he win the Super Bowl MVP? I don't know if he did.
I thought Cooper Kupp won it.
Oh, you're right. Cooper Kupp won it. His wide receiver won it. No, that ends the whole conversation right there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a comparison for what Brett Favre would be today. I kind of want to say Joe Burrow. Like the season that Joe Burrow had last year, where he's like a pocket passer, but he'll sling it out.
Damn, I love Joe Burrow.
And you love Brett Favre, do you not?
I do love Brett Favre. I still have a Brett Favre jersey. My other one was pretty trash, but I still own a Brett Favre jersey. I still rock it.
I think I have a jersey T-shirt somewhere. Maybe
Hold
I had
on,
a Brett Favre jersey when I was a really little kid, but
I have this cool doohickey I got from a garage sale a long time ago, bro. Look at this. It's a Brett Favre little thing, little Sports Illustrated thing on there.
that's nice.
Pretty sick, right?
That's
And
nice.
it's from 95, 96, so it has all the stats on there. 38 and 13. I mean, 99 rating. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Dude, I could easily see that for Joe Burrow. 38 touchdowns, 13. That's yep.
Now let me
There
tell
it
you
is.
something. Rodgers over the last 3 years, 13 picks. That was Brett Favre's MVP season. Conversation over.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just not close to me. It's not. It's just not close to me. I watched
It's kind of close, but it's not. It's not to a point where you can say Favre is better.
To me, listen. Now you got me going. Actually, I got myself going, but you added in. People always knock Rodgers' leadership, right?
Yeah.
I still have newspapers. Dude, I still have all of the newspapers and all of the papers from when Favre left us and we traded him to the Jets that year. I have all of it in plastic.
I remember watching him retire in Mr. Geigel's room.
Me too. Mr. Geigel cried, dude. Geigel cried. I remember that shit. But anyways, that was just a throwback down memory lane. People always knock Rodgers' leadership, but they don't understand that there's different leadership styles, right? It's just, it's kind of the same thing with LeBron and Jordan, right? Back in the day, Jordan, he used to bully people, talk shit to people, and that was how he motivated them. Like, match my energy kind of shit. Like, I'm alpha, you follow me, and you do what I say. That's kind of how Kobe was too, but to a lesser extent. Like, he actually respected people, where Jordan was straight up just an asshole. You know, LeBron is more of like a buddy guy. Like, hey, what's bothering you? What's going on in life? What can I do to make your job easier? That's how Rodgers is too, in my opinion, where he's like, listen, I will gladly sit here and teach you and, you know, tell you what to do, but you have to be willing to put in that work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Favre was just out there and you kind of fed off his energy, you know, because you knew Favre was going to be all heart, and I respected that because I love players that play with heart. Look at Giannis, right? We love watching Giannis because every time he dunks the basketball, he puts all of his goddamn
energy
that he went through in his life into that damn basketball, and he tries to rip the damn rim off. And I love watching that, right? But look at the shit that happened today. Did you hear the shit that happened today with Rodgers? Did you read that with the wide receivers?
You be talking about the quote that he had from yesterday?
No. So he had the quote yesterday, right? And then today, all the wide receivers, when they showed up this morning at 8:45 this morning, were instructed to go into a room where Rodgers, the other two quarterbacks, and a bunch of the offensive coaches were sitting there, and they all went over stuff that all the wide receivers can work on. Tell me how that's a bad leader. The guy fired you up. He told you that you have shit to work on. So now you go home. You're watching SportsCenter. You're watching SportsCenter this morning before you go in. You're like, shit. Rodgers is calling me out, man. Is he dogging me? And then the first thing that happens is he has a great conversation heart to heart with you. How do you not want to work for a guy like that?
You got to listen too. Like, Rodgers isn't saying that these guys have things to work on. These guys need to fix this. The young guys need to fix this. He's saying we need to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So he's taking ownership of the part that he plays in it as well. And that's where, you know, we've talked about it, where Rodgers holds people to a certain standard because that's what it takes to succeed. So I understand the contrast in style, but, you know, it's not like he's out there telling people they suck and telling them to get off the team and stuff like that.
And, you know, we can both answer Isaac's question. Isaac asked, how many Hall of Famers did Favre's defenses have compared to Rodgers? I could tell you off the top of my head the two people I consider Hall of Famers. They didn't spend their entire career here either. A good chunk for Charles Woodson. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And then, obviously, he's in already. And Julius Peppers. Outside of that, Julius Peppers will be a Hall of Famer. But
no, I'm saying that I'd maybe add one more.
Clay Matthews, maybe?
Clay Matthews, maybe.
He might, but he only had 83 sacks. Well, for the Packers. I mean, how many did he have for the Rams? Like 4? So he didn't.
I know he's the Packers leader in sacks. He'll be in the Packers Hall of Fame. I mean, Tremont Williams is going into the Packers Hall of Fame. So
the one guy that I think that could have been a Hall of Famer, like Pro Football Hall of Famer, if he didn't get hurt, was Nick Collins, and I know we both agree on that.
Yeah, I love Nick Collins.
But outside of that, I mean, look at it. I mean, dude, Brett Favre got to play with Reggie White.
We had like 3 seasons where like Morgan Burnett was our best defender.
Yeah, dude, I hate Morgan Burnett. He always blew coverage. Always. And we had Morgan Burnett and HaHa Clinton Dix, and the Packers was just like, yeah, we're good to go.
Throw Lancaster out there again.
Think about that now, dude. Compare them to Savage and Amos. It's not even close. Night and day. Night and day, dude. Not even close.
I love Adrian Amos.
Oh, dude, he's a stud.
All right.
Over who had a better defense. Yeah, dude, it's over. Yeah, Reggie White. Exactly like I said, dude. Reggie White, he's maybe the best defender of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. So do you want to do the power pair before I start tearing new ones?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so ready for you to tear new ones.
I'm tearing some new ones. I'm digging the hole and then digging it really, really deep, and I'm just shoveling a ton of dirt on top of it. I'll let you answer that question since you brought up Julius Peppers.
That is a very good point. I will say he was pretty freaking good for us. He forced a lot of turnovers, I felt like, and he helped take some pressure off of Clay Matthews, who is, like Tyler said, the leader in sacks for the Packers history. So that's a good point. He definitely wasn't in his prime, but he was still out there forcing fumbles, man. He was still very good.
It's one of those scenarios where it's like Julius Peppers may not have been a Hall of Famer for us, but he will be a Hall of Famer for his career.
Yep. And, if a Hall of Famer only got to play with Favre for a couple of years, that would still be a Hall of Famer on Favre's belt. That's how I would look at it.
All right, let's do power pair. You want to do pitcher or position player first?
Yeah, I feel like we have the same pitcher, so I'm going to go first with pitcher.
Okay.
Yep. You have Jason Alexander?
I don't.
Oh, yes. All right. So I was really happy with Alexander against the Dodgers on Monday night. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
So that was enough evidence for me to be like, dude, he went through that damn lineup for 3 innings, and he didn't allow an earned run or a walk. He allowed 2 hits, but he also got 2 Ks, a guy that never gets strikeouts. So 3 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, only 1 walk because he was struggling with walks there for a little bit, and the 2 Ks. So
yeah,
I was really happy with Jason Alexander this week.
Well, like I said, too, it gets lost in the day-to-day, but him being able to give those 3 innings and then knowing that the Brewers used 7 pitchers on Tuesday, that matters. That stuff matters.
100%.
So that helps. For me, I went with Brandon Woodruff. I feel like he hasn't gotten a ton of love. Like, even though every time we talk about him during games, we say, he's pitching really well, but I feel like he hasn't gotten a lot of love in the power pair, so I wanted to put him in mine. Mm-hmm. His 2 outings in the last week, 12 innings, 5 earned runs, no walks against Tampa Bay when he pitched 7 straight innings in that game, and no walks. And he's got 13 Ks in his last 12 innings. That's over a 9 strikeout per game, or K per 9, however you want to look at it, ratio. So Brandon Woodruff, he's pitching really well, and he's got like 2 extra miles an hour on his fastball since he came back from being hurt.
Oh, my God.
He hit 99.
This is why we're best friends, Tyler, because you bring up the shit that's perfect. I was so upset that I didn't bring this up because I wrote this down. His fastball was awesome yesterday, dude.
And he's throwing sinkers now, too?
Bro, like all of his fastballs were all of his strikeouts, dude. High in the zone. He was at 97 regularly, 96. But like you said, he hit 99.
Yeah, he hit 99 with a fastball, and it's like, damn.
Now that's the guy ready for Craig Timber.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do a 3-man rotation in the playoffs and do Burns, Woodruff, and then stack, say, Peralta and Ashby, or Lauer and Ashby, and mix up some lefties. Adrian Hauser is making some rehab appearances. Omar Narvaez is supposed to be back this weekend during the Cubs series, but give me your power pair position player.
Oh, geez. So, they have a list of damn near impossible things or unbreakable records. The damn near impossible thing this week was finding a freaking offensive player. I went with Rowdy Tellez, who batted
right.
66.
It didn't have to be offense. It's a position player. So, you can mix in some other things.
I know.
That's what I did.
He had 3 walks. He had a run and an RBI. And I felt like he was good at the plate this week. He was patient. He got the 1 strikeout against the Cardinals. I think it was game 2 where it was low and inside. And I don't think it was a strike either, but he struck out on that. And I was like, seems like Rowdy's seeing the ball pretty well. He's going to get another breakthrough here pretty soon, I think.
Sure. So I went with the guy. So I went with Luis Urias, even though he hasn't been hitting the greatest lately. Mm-hmm. He did work 2 really good walks in yesterday's game, and he's been playing very, very, very good defense lately.
Oh, interesting.
Do you want to know a secret, Jake?
Yeah, what's that?
So Isaac just put on here that Travis Fulgham is back with the Packers. That's actually already posted on the Wisco Fanatics page.
Yeah, take that, Isaac.
Scroll down a little, Isaac. That was posted 45 minutes ago. But yes, that is a familiar face back with the Packers is Travis Fulgham. Okay, so real quick, I'm just going to go through what's next for the Brewers. So they have tonight and tomorrow afternoon with the Dodgers yet. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Chicago against the Cubs. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they are at the Dodgers. So we're continuing the 31 games in 31 days stretch. Like I said, Adrian Hauser has been rehabbing. Omar Narvaez should be back during the Cubs series. Justin Topa and Jake Cousins are still rehabbing. So those are 2 potential additions to the bullpen. So that's some potential reinforcements coming for the bullpen, which is good because the Brewers actually optioned Jason Alexander back to AAA today and called up Peter Strzelecki. So the Brewers are shuttling guys in and out of the bullpen and getting some of those guys back. Trevor Rosenthal is also on a rehab assignment. If that's a guy the Brewers can get back, that's another dude that throws in the upper 90s that could potentially be joining and helping the bullpen too. So potentially a lot of reinforcements coming for the Brewers bullpen, which would be really helpful.
Man, something crazy is going to happen this year. I feel it. The magic is still there. The potential's still there. Now Tyler's going to go crazy. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, all right. So this is the question. I get frustrated because there's literally a thing called Google. So you can look these things up just as I did and find all of these answers. I understand not everybody wants to do the work and go and find out this and that and use a notebook and write stuff down. So I did it for you. And I am answering the question of, are the Brewers cheap? You're going to have to bear with me for a while because I wrote a lot of shit down for this. So
plenty of time.
I've seen a lot of people say the Brewers are top 10 in attendance all the time. How are they not have higher revenue? Attendance is only part of it. So I looked at attendance, revenue, and salary. The Brewers are 10th in attendance. This is true. The Brewers are 10th in attendance. The Brewers are 28th in television revenue.
Ugh.
Television revenue. That is the other big piece of the pie that gets lost in where payroll comes from. So the Brewers are 10th in attendance, 28th in TV. They're 19th in salary. So they're actually dead in the middle of attendance and salary.
Yeah, they're right in the middle of 20.
Exactly. Yes. So this makes me so freaking angry. The Brewers in 2021 made $269 million in revenue.
Yeah. I like the pause.
The Dodgers, oh my God, this makes me so freaking mad. The Dodgers made $239 million in just television revenue.
Oh, fuck no.
They made almost as much as the Brewers did total in just television. That means the Dodgers could have had literally 0 people attend games and only make $30 million less than the Brewers did last year. The Dodgers' revenue last season was $565 million.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Andrew, merchandise is part of it too. I will say I don't think the Brewers travel as well as the Bucks or the Packers. The Packers are still the GOATs as far as traveling goes.
Wisconsin Badgers is pretty good too, I will say. Bowl games
Hearing
and shit.
that Thursday game last year in Arizona, hearing the Go Pack Go chants was awesome.
Yeah, that was magical. Also, people didn't start rocking Bucks gear until Giannis became GOAT, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Tyler were around for those days. You think anybody was cheering when we had fucking
Van
Horn?
I got 3 pennants over there. I got a green and cream one, I got a red and green one, and I got a purple and green one. And I didn't just order that since they announced the new Classic Edition. That's been on my wall.
And the schedule was announced today, so thank you.
Yes, it was.
Reminding me of that.
So last year, Dodgers $565 million in revenue, Yankees $482 million in revenue, Red Sox $479 million in revenue. Atlanta, who won the World Series last year, who some people like to call small market just because they're not in Boston, LA, New York, or Chicago, $443 million last year. Chicago Cubs, $400 Astros, $388 million. James, to answer your question, if it's traveling with Packers fans everywhere, it's kind of both.
I think it's both. But there is a huge Packer bar in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people comment on Packers videos from Costa Rica and Brazil and Germany. So, like, that stuff's cool. We like it when that stuff happens. It's cool. We're hoping to connect with more UK Packers fans on if they're playing in London this year. I think that would be cool.
That'd be sick. Real sick.
So, we're going to keep going here. There are teams doing more with less. There's teams doing less with both. So, Seattle is really the only team right now that's doing more with less. Mm-hmm. But you go to teams that are doing less with more, all of these teams have higher payrolls than the Brewers. Rockies, Tigers, Rangers, Cubs, Giants, Angels, White Sox. All of them have higher payrolls than the Brewers. The Rockies, as of Monday, were 15 games below 500. The Tigers, as of Monday, were 30 games below 500. The Rangers, 12 games below. The Cubs, 19 below. On Monday, San Francisco was exactly 500. The Angels were 13 below. And the White Sox were 3 games over. So, all of those teams have higher payrolls.
And the White Sox are supposed to be really fucking good, by the way. They play in a trash division. Way worse than ours, in my opinion.
Okay. Now, here we go. We've had this discussion of rebuilding. So we're going to go, I'm going to start with the last 20 years of World Series championships. And I will count on my hand the number of small market teams that won championships in that time. So 2002, LA Angels. 2003, Marlins. 2004, Boston Red Sox. They broke their curse. 2005 was the White Sox. 2006 was the Cardinals. 2007 was the Red Sox. 2008 was the Phillies. 2009 was the Yankees. 2010 was the Giants. 2011 was the Cardinals. 2012 was the Giants. 2013 was the Red Sox. 2014 was the Giants. 2015 was Kansas City. 2016 were the Cubs. 2017 was Washington. 2018 was Boston. 19 was Washington. And then 2020 was the Dodgers. 2021 was the Atlanta Braves. That's 3 if you include Washington, who actually has a pretty big market. Yeah. So you look at those 3 even, Washington, Kansas City, and the Marlins. None of them have been relevant since their championships, and all of them have traded away superstars since then.
Yeah.
Like, we just watched the Nationals in the last 2 years ship out a shit ton of superstars. Yeah. Max Scherzer, Trey Turner, obviously Juan Soto, like Josh Bell is not really a superstar, but
a very good player.
The Marlins had a really low payroll the year they won it. They've only made the playoffs once since their World Series in 2003. And it was in the COVID year where playoffs were extended to 8 teams. That was the only year they've made the playoffs since their championship.
Does that
now? I mean, it counts for the Brewers. So, then Andrew, this is what I'm getting to. Going all in doesn't guarantee you a championship. So this is where Stearns brings up the more bites at the apple thing. Those three teams that I mentioned, the Royals, they're in the bottom of their division. Like Jake just said, the AL Central is not good. But you look at teams that are having to rebuild that didn't even win championships. The Angels, the A's. Look at the A's, dude. The A's.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever.
Oh, man. The Reds. Look at all the players the Reds have traded in the last 2 years.
Yeah, man, it's pretty sad.
The Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays have gone through rebuilds. They're just coming back up. But, like, you think back to the Jose Bautista days where they were hitting home runs like freaking crazy. I mean, the Diamondbacks, they won in 2000. I think the Diamondbacks won in 2001. But, like, they had to trade Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, you look at the Rockies. They traded Troy Tulowitzki, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado. All those guys used to be on the Rockies.
That's three pretty damn good players, in my opinion.
That's three very good left side of the infield players.
Yeah.
That's before you get into all the power hitters that they had, but being in Colorado helps. So this is where, Andrew, I'm going to kind of tie this in. This is the all-in question. Is making the playoffs, because you're not guaranteed a championship by going all in, is making the playoffs worth setting the franchise back a minimum of 3 years?
I will be waiting for your answer. Tyler asked me the same question, and I said no. Like, didn't even think about it. I read it, and before I finished the question, I was like, nah, I'm not trying to go backwards. Nah.
I would. This is a situation where, like I said, David Stern said the quote, as many bites at the apple. This is going to be a little hard to hear for people, and I understand that. I would rather miss this year's playoffs than trade 3 out of Sal Frelick, Garrett Mitchell, Joey Weimer, Jackson Churio, Ethan Small, those 5 guys, maybe Bryce Terang in there as well.
Yeah.
I would rather miss this year's playoffs than have to trade 3 of those 6 guys.
I agree. Wow. I feel like Churio is untouchable. I mean, that guy, he's up to number 2 now for baseball prospects. So, I mean,
they just redid the MLB pipeline. He's number 18 in all of baseball.
Oh, number 18. Oof.
That's in the top 100
I know.
of all prospects.
He's only in single A right now.
And he's 18 years old.
Yeah. I loved having CC as a rental and Z.
Yeah, but I mean, look at okay, so that's 2011 you're talking about.
No.
Having CC Sabathia was really fun for 2011. The Brewers didn't get back to the playoffs for 7 years.
That's tough.
The Brewers have had a rough 2.5, 3 weeks, and it's almost to a point where I don't want to open Facebook because that's how negative Brewers fans have gotten over the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, I 100% avoid Brewers groups when we lose.
Could you imagine that for 7 years?
Probably not a lot of people commenting.
Oh man! Like,
actually, you know the funny thing about that is when a team has no expectations, people are actually generally more positive about their team. Like, oh, so and so looked good today. I mean,
we mentioned that last week with the Cubs.
It's because they expect them to lose already, so they have that shitty mindset. So they're like, oh, I expected us to lose, but hey, so and so looked good today. Like, why is that? I don't understand. He said,
"Oh man, Andrew, I don't know if I'm that patient."
Man, we got kids and we ain't patient.
So this is like, I want to bring this up because this is new. The Brewers have never been in a position to make the playoffs 5 years in a row, and have that many chances to make a postseason run. And we've seen, and we know it because we've lost to the World Series champion 3 years in a row, what it takes to go all the way in the World Series. Now, would you rather have a 1-in-1 chance, basically like the Padres are setting themselves up, that if you don't win it this year, like, you're either paying out of the nose massively, which is part of the reason why I think the Brewers were willing to trade Josh Hader, or do you give yourself a 1 in 5 years chance?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the question that David Stearns has to ask. He doesn't get to just focus on 2022. He's got to focus on 23, 24, 25, and potentially beyond. Like, he extended Ashby until he retires. But that's not a luxury that David Stearns has, is to only worry about this season. Like, yeah, it's cool to go all in, and it's a lot easier to do it when you're at the top of the standings.
True.
If the Brewers were 20 games up in the NL Central and, basically already guaranteed a postseason spot, it's a lot easier to go all in. But I don't know how much keeping Josh Hader and acquiring, say, Josh Bell and Brandon Drury, what that really does to make the Brewers a World Series favorite. I don't think that it does.
Imagine we traded for those guys and then they started stinking up the joint.
Like Jonathan Scope in 2018.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. I won't lie.
That's why I'm saying, like, going all in doesn't guarantee you anything. So, you got to kind of think ahead. And that's kind of what I'm doing. And that's why, like I said, I would not trade 3 out of those 6 guys that I named to guarantee a playoff spot in 2022 and say, we'll worry about 2023 in the offseason. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for the Brewers 2023, 2024, 2025 outfield.
Yeah, I've fallen in love with Hunter Renfroe a little bit, but I am excited to see what these young guys can do.
You have his honorary baby brother in AAA right now.
Yeah, I know, the hair flow, dude. I can't.
Yeah, Joey Weimer is Hunter Renfroe light. Like, that's easily his player comparison if he's got one.
I'm ready for that. Do it for like, that's my boy. If he starts yakking homers,
man,
bro,
Sal Frelick he's a stud.
I'm buying that jersey so fast. I'm gonna buy that.
And then Garrett Mitchell's playing really well, and so is Esteury Ruiz. That dude, oh my God, the wheels on that dude. So I had the bunting conversation again last night.
Oh God.
About people saying the Brewers should bunt and the Brewers should bunt, and I'm like, damn it! As soon as I saw that Hunter Renfroe lay down that bunt, the bunting people were gonna be like, "See, Hunter Renfroe did it!"
I knew it. I thought. I was like, "Oh boy, Tyler's fucking."
Okay, he did it in a situation to catch a team off guard. That's a little bit different than just laying down a sacrifice,
like they know it's coming
to move a guy 90 feet and give a team a free out.
Right.
So. The other 2 scenarios or strategies that the other person that I was talking with proposed was stealing more bases and doing hit and runs. Now that I am all for. I brought up Esteury Ruiz because the guy asked, maybe the Brewers just need more speed. I'm like, go check out Esteury Ruiz. He's got wheels for days. He's faster than everybody on the roster currently combined. So stealing bases and the hit and run. I feel like the hit and run is kind of a lost art, but it requires a lot more contact, and the Brewers take a lot of pitches. So it kind of rules that out. But it does create the opportunity for more stolen bases. So I will level with the person I was talking to that stolen bases is potentially a way to create more offense and potentially break out with, break out of so many double plays. Pat said, how are you for that with the batting averages? How am I for the hitting, like the hit and runs?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I mean, the batting averages, it comes down to not just outs that would affect, having to go back to the base. So, like, strikeouts factor into batting average, ground outs factor into batting average. Like, I can pull it up and I can see how many see the percentage of ground balls that the Brewers hit. I know it's a lot. The Brewers ground out a lot.
Look at
hit and runs. Yeah, hit and runs could potentially mitigate some of those double plays. Like I said, I'll pull up the ground ball outs and see what that looks like. I feel like the Brewers are probably near the top of the league in ground ball percentage, but I'm going to guess. I'm going to say it's somewhere around 44%.
Yeah.
That's a lot of ground balls.
Wow. Like you said, freaking Yelich grounds out to freaking in that shift to freaking right center all day. He hits over second base all the time too, and there's a guy standing right there.
And that's like I said. So, a hit and run potentially in that situation could make it. Say you put Yelich in a hit and run situation, and Willy Adames hits a ground ball behind him. Yelich has the speed to get to second base to not make that a playable play. Makes it so the defense has to go to first base.
I mean, kind of like the bunt yesterday, it would have to be used situationally.
Right.
That's just how it works. I'm not saying we have to do it all every damn inning, but I'm okay with it.
Or if every time you have somebody on base, it could be a situation where, and I'm sure Counsell and Stearns have this information at their disposal. You look at guys who have a high contact rate, guys that generate a lot of contact, and maybe not necessarily a lot of fly balls, but say you have a guy who either strikes out more often than he flies out and makes a lot of contact. That could be a situation where that's the guy you put in a hit and run situation. And yeah, it does involve needing better contact hitters. All of the guys that the Brewers drafted this year are all contact hitters. Like all of them, like they all fit the profile of guys who hit for contact, guys that walked more than they struck out. Okay, league batting. All right. Batted ball profile.
While you're looking for that, Dad, I want you to answer.
Ooh, I was close.
Don't give me that BS. I like both of them. I've asked you this before, and you've said that. Who's better, Rodgers or Favre? And I want to hear your real answer.
I was really close.
Yeah, Atlanta got on fire though, and they have some pretty damn good batters. I will say. Brewers don't have anything near what Atlanta had last year. I mean, Freddie Freeman alone is a better contact hitter than anybody on the Brewers.
Okay.
Atlanta's sick. They got a good lineup.
So I guessed 43% or 44%. Dang it. Now I spoiled it. The Brewers have a 43% ground ball rate.
Ugh.
It's middle of the pack as far as the league is concerned. Fly ball percentage. The Brewers have a high fly ball percentage.
He's breaking it up now. He's going to say Hart is going to be Favre. Told you. Called that shit. I knew it. And I don't disagree with you. Okay. But when I look at a quarterback, I don't think about his goddamn heart. I think about his arm. Okay? So that ends that debate.
All right. The Brewers are dead last in line drive percentage. So that doesn't bode well necessarily for hit and runs. Pop-ups, they're right in the middle of the league for that as well. So yeah, that would be, like Pat said, like we said, more contact if you're going to try to do things like hit and run. I think he does. If you want to pivot to that, I think he does. We can bring up another discussion here while we go to this too. Last thing I'll put on here with the Brewers, like I said, the Brewers not necessarily cheap. Like I said, 10th in attendance, 28th in television, 19th in revenue, splitting that right in the middle. The Brewers have their highest salary in team history this season. So calling the Brewers cheap, it's not really a fair criticism because they are spending more than they ever have and potentially preparing to spend more. That's where I think they get into trading Josh Hader, and I'm still going to hold out hope that Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff are signed to basically lifetime contracts this offseason.
Well, if they don't, then there's really going to be a lot of
question marks. Yeah.
All
right.
Andrew said, did Favre have heart or just a lot of Vicodin? I mean, that's a little bit of a dig, not going to lie. But he had heart. I'll just say that.
Okay.
You could tell.
What do you think of this comment right here? We posted this comment. It's on the screen. Rodgers might have the best arm talent ever. What is your response to that?
My initial response is you think about his velocity, his ball placement, and obviously you go to accuracy, right? So
I'd throw arm strength in there as well.
This is where that's where I meant by velocity, I guess. But,
okay.
People forget, man, and I go back and watch this game quite a bit. People will be looking at Mahomes and they're like, "Oh my God, we've never seen nothing like this." Go watch the divisional round game against the Atlanta Falcons. Aaron Rodgers with pinpoint accuracy, looking like he's throwing 500 miles per hour, and he's throwing through a damn window this big. And then go look, one of my favorite plays from last year, I always bring it up, the throw to Tanyan against the Detroit Lions, right up the seam, linebacker literally in Tanyan's jersey. That ball had to be right here. And you know where it was? Right here. So when you add in the velocity with the accuracy, and then, this is a little bit of a basics thing. You watch Rodgers throw, and a wide receiver, has to jump, and he has to reach up like this. And you're like, oh, that was a horrible throw. What a great catch. No, let me tell you something. Aaron Rodgers meant to do that because nobody else on the fucking planet.
That's the thing. You put it where only your receiver can catch it.
Yeah, and
that's where you get into. That's where you get into the Jared Cook catch against the Cowboys.
Oh my God!
Nobody else is catching that. You get into like Rodgers is really good at putting touch on the ball. Like I think it was Tanyan again. Getting it where a linebacker jumps and you see the ball go right over his fingertips and then drop into his receiver's hands. It was two of them against the Eagles to Devontae Adams. One was they were like backed up to the goal line and he threw in between double coverage to Adams and it goes between both of the Eagles dudes and then Adams' hands are just right there. Then the other one against the Eagles, it was like a 31-yard touchdown to Devontae Adams in the corner of the end zone. The ball was right behind the Eagle defender back, and by the time he turned to look at it, it was already in Devontae's hands.
Bro, that was on the road, too, on Monday Night Football, and that was the game that started the run the table.
And you go one more. You go to when they were in Jacksonville, like 5 years ago, and Rodgers is getting pulled down by his jersey. Devontae's getting held by Jalen Ramsey, and he still is able to put it in a position where Devontae is able to make a diving catch.
He was getting held by Devon House, by the way. That was before.
Ramsey was tackling Rodgers. Yep. That's what it was.
Ramsey was tackling Rodgers. Dude, Rodgers has so many throws. And then here's the thing that I think puts Rodgers above Favre, and this is where it becomes not close to me, the pocket presence and the ability to buy time in the pocket. Where Favre, when he get flushed out, yes, he had the ability to throw on the run, and he still had the cannon, right?
Yeah.
But Rodgers' ability to juke players and buy time for his receivers and buy time for his linemen to catch up. Look at the Motown Miracle, right? He's juking. His linemen come back and cold clock the defensive end. Maybe a block in the back, I won't lie. All the shit that Rodgers does. And then I think of another play against the Lions. Geronimo Allison, the run the table year. He's running outside, jukes the guy, runs outside, throws it. And that was another fireball that was accurate as hell. Nobody, and I mean nobody, was like young prime Rodgers. Before he broke his collarbone, that guy was one of one. That's all I'm going to say. One of one. Because Mahomes has accuracy issues from time to time. Every once in a while, he sails some passes.
He got into some situations where it'll be interesting to see what he does this year, where he'd be able to just basically throw the ball as far as he could, and Tyreek Hill would go and find it and come back to it and go get it. So it'll be interesting to see what Mahomes does without Tyreek Hill. James said he found out that a former Washington safety is the president and CEO of the Packers.
Man,
Rodgers in cold weather is, I don't know.
I would have to look into that, but right now I'm going to say I don't agree. That's what I'm going to say right now. I don't agree.
You have to break it down into weird categories, like if it's below zero or if it's below freezing.
Favre lost to Mike Vick at home. That was when Lambeau was really Lambeau. When it had, the nobody comes into Lambeau in the playoffs and wins.
Mm-hmm.
He lost to Mike Vick, who back then couldn't throw. I'm just going to say that. When he went to the Eagles, he started becoming a quarterback a little bit. When he was young Atlanta, he was like
he was a runner. Lamar Jackson.
And I respect Lamar, but I'm not scared of
struggles
Lamar
on
if he
turf.
throws the ball.
Right.
Favre struggles on turf. Rodgers absolutely kills on turf. I will say that. I will say that.
So now I'm going to lay this on here. I've said this before, and I stand by it. And I have at least 2 examples. One being Aaron Rodgers. Now I believe Rodgers lost to Kaepernick. Kaepernick's another one of those guys where, I wasn't afraid of him throwing the ball, but obviously he ran. And
Okay,
Andrew,
look at the defensive talent on both those teams, and then come
that's the situation. I opened the show with this about quarterbacks wins not being a thing. They shouldn't be a thing, and pitcher wins shouldn't be a thing. Rodgers didn't lose to Kaepernick. The Packers' defense lost to Kaepernick. Rodgers isn't out there playing defense. So that's, like Jake said, look at the defenses. Now here, I'm going to make a distinction I believe is important. It's an important distinction when you're talking about who is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Now, I strongly believe that there is a difference between the best player and the most accomplished player.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. I believe that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady as far as being a football player is concerned. Obviously, I recognize that Brady has all of the rings, and Brady is a winner. That's an intangible thing. Brady's a winner. I can't deny that. People want to play with Brady because he takes pay cuts. There's no denying that. But those are intangible things. When it comes to playing football, I would much rather watch Aaron Rodgers highlights for 8 hours than Tom Brady dinking and dunking his way to a Super Bowl win and James White getting shafted out of a Super Bowl MVP.
Facts.
Now, the other one, and this is a super hot button topic, and people every single damn day will talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
I am willing to say that LeBron James is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a more accomplished basketball player. Michael Jordan was a winner. He demanded, a certain degree of excellence, but LeBron James is 6'9" and he's a freaking freight train.
Yeah. And he's a point guard that could put 30 on you. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's not, it's one of those things. Like I said, there's the difference between being a better player and a more accomplished player. So the Favre Brady, dang it, freaking Favre. I keep thinking Brett Favre. Rodgers versus Brady and LeBron versus Michael Jordan are 2 where I believe you can make that distinction.
If Rodgers gets his second ring this year, we start having a real discussion about top 5 quarterbacks, because outside of Packers fans, and I understand, and you can't take anybody seriously because 90% of the people want to troll, right? But if he wins his second ring, he gets up there with Peyton Manning.
I think he already is based on MVPs.
But
I'd have Peyton Manning above him, but I think he's in that tier.
Oh, I think he's in that tier as well.
This is going to annoy some people. James, I'm sorry if this offends you, but Aaron Rodgers is ahead of Drew Brees all time.
Come on. James, you have to know that, right?
I think James likes Rodgers, even though he's a Saints fan. But
I know, and I respect Brees for how
if we're talking about quarterbacks, I think it's Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and I think Rodgers is in contention for that 4th spot.
I would agree with that. 100%.
And if Rodgers wins the second ring, I think you move him up to number 3 ahead of Peyton Manning.
That's an interesting combo. See, you can make an actual argument for both sides of that, in my opinion. Can't game was different when Jordan played.
Rodgers I know.
That's fair.
I understand. And comparing eras is tough.
Brady still had all those years where he got all those Super Bowls, the 3 out of 4 or whatever, before Rodgers even entered the league. So
right.
And then he had a Super Bowl where he literally has 2 Super Bowls where if a team runs the damn ball, he loses. And then he has a Super Bowl where he had to score more than 3 points. So if you take away the 3 out of 4 and you take away those 3, what does he have? He has the same amount.
Yeah.
But he already won, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Brees was really, really close for 2011 MVP. Like, he was really close. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I understand it's close, and I'm totally fine with Brees winning Offensive Player of the Year that year.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, it's just Rodgers' touchdown to interception ratio, and people always troll Packer fans. Oh, here comes touchdown. If your quarterback was doing it, you talk about it too. It's the same conversation with the stock. If your team had stock, you'd buy that shit too.
Yeah, I
Cool.
will say that every single time. Yep.
It's cool memorabilia. That's all it is.
And like I said, when I've said this a freaking 100 times, you can drive by the stadium, see where they added all the new seats and the new Jumbotron, and know that the money that you put in the stock was a part of that. You can literally see the physical representation of something that you were a part of as far as the franchise is concerned.
Yep. I'm going to answer my dad's question because everybody always says, they throw the ball so much now. Okay. And I'm not trying to come at you, Dad. I'm trying to come at everybody else. Then why the hell is Rodgers the only one with single-digit interceptions? Tell me why. Even Brady last year, as great as he still is, people want to talk about Stafford. People want to talk about everybody, right? All these other great quarterbacks, Burrow coming up. Why is Rodgers the only one that's staying under 10 interceptions and throwing for 35?
There's two quarterbacks that I want to bring up in that back before they threw the ball a lot, and it's Terry Bradshaw and Troy Aikman. Two of the most overrated quarterbacks in NFL history.
I do respect Bradshaw's toughness because that was rough and tough. But Aikman, come on, man. That's the same argument for Emmitt Smith. Look at that old line, dude. Look at all the freaking superstars they had on defense. I mean, come on. Come on, man.
James, don't get me started on 2009 MVPs because I'm a little salty about the NBA that year.
Who the hell won the MVP in 2009 for the NFL? I don't remember who won it in the NFL.
Is it Adrian Peterson?
No. That was like 2012.
I'll look it up. Give me a second.
2009.
Oh, it's Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Should have known that. Didn't they win the Super Bowl that year? No, they won in like 2007 against the Bears.
Yes, that was 2007. Charles Woodson was Defensive Player of the Year that year. MVP.
Yeah, he was. He had a lot of touchdowns that year. That was the year we played the Lions on Thanksgiving, and he ran a touchdown back, and he did the Heisman in the end zone. All
right, so 2009, Manning had 112 more yards, 1 less touchdown, 5 more interceptions. I mean, it's pretty close.
I could hear an argument for Brees. I won't lie.
Yeah, it's close. He threw less interceptions and 1 more touchdown, but fewer yards.
We'd have to look at record and teams.
Yeah.
Really break it down.
2009 Colts were 14-2.
They were very good.
2009 Saints were 13-3.
Also very good. Probably both the number 1 seeds.
Yeah. All right. So, got a handful of people watching. Let us know. Are there any basics, phrases that you hear when watching football, basketball, that you don't know what they mean or kind of know what they mean or hear them a lot, but things like that you would want explained? Jake and I are going to be doing an episode about it on Friday. I will grab my list right here.
Oh, we're going to give the list away right now.
I'm going to give the list away just for those watching, so the viewers can get a little extra. Friday, the things we are for sure going to be talking about: 12 and 22 personnel, what defenses 3-4, 4-3, nickel and dime defenses mean, what the West Coast offense is, the A gap, the B gap, what pre-snap motion does for an offense, and what zone defense is. And switching to basketball, we're going to be talking about the pick and roll, the dunker area, drop defense, and that's pretty much what we got for basketball. So if there's anything you think we should add to that list, let us know. Andrew asked why he doesn't know why we don't get dividends from the stock. Talk about soccer teams.
I saw that
Europe.
yesterday, by the way, about Elon. He said he was going to buy the team.
So with I'm sure it's an NFL thing where the Packers can do it. They are, they're community owned. But I'm positive it would be a situation where the NFL says you can do this quote unquote stock offering, but it has to go towards revenue towards the team and not actual stock in the team. Because, then you can do the rising and falling stock, and then the Packers would be the only team allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. So, yeah, I'm with Andrew.
Yeah, that would doing stuff like that would essentially turn the Packers into the Dodgers of the NFL. But the NFL actually has a salary cap and revenue sharing and parity. So, that's one of those scenarios.
I mean, I'd be cool with them being the Dodgers, being freaking 13-3 every year.
Yeah, I know. And then being able to look at Jacksonville and be like, you're never going to win because your employee or your owner is cheap.
Yeah, but he's a billionaire. How the fuck is that guy cheap? It's Jacksonville. I get it. It's like, oh, I'm going to Florida to party. Where are you going? Jacksonville? What the hell?
Why?
Jacksonville, you weirdo.
But that's the thing that I see when the Dodgers beat the Brewers on Monday and be like, oh, it's not our fault that your owner is cheap. It's like, you live in LA. There's 18 times as many people there.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Now that I've gone on 6 different rants today, you got anything else you want to bring up?
No, buddy, I'm good to go.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for watching and commenting along, asking questions. It creates for some good, interesting discussion. I want to throw out there, just because something has never happened doesn't mean that it won't ever happen. So just because the Brewers have never won a World Series doesn't mean they won't ever win a World Series just because they've lost a few games in early August.
100% agree. Also, I expect to see all of you on Friday night, minus maybe my dad because he has to work on Saturday. So everybody else, you have no excuse. You hear that? Expect to see you on Friday night.
And Tim. Tim said goodbye. So we'll see you later, Tim. Tim, we'll see you on Friday.